Welcome back. Lots of activity on the issue of abortion. Texas Governor Greg Abbot has signed another bill. This one puts time limits on physicians' ability to prescribe morning after pills. And Georgia's controversial heartbeat law will be in federal court on Friday. If you think you see a pattern, you do. The laws are more and more restrictive. More than 20 states have enacted laws making it harder for people to get abortions. But that doesn't even begin to cover the hundreds of measures proposed. According to the Guttmacher Institute, 2021 has become the worst legislative year ever for abortion rights in our nation's history. Federal appeals courts are hearing cases all across the country to determine the constitutionality of a state's law. It's part of an urgent ramp-up to the highly anticipated Supreme Court hearing on Mississippi's ban on abortions after the 15-week mark. A law that my next guest says is a clear violation of a childbearing person's constitutional rights. I want to bring in Alexis McGill Johnson. She is the president and CEO of Planned Parenthood Federation of America. Alexis, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you so much for having me, Aisha.
Now, two of the states that federal appeals courts are looking at right now are Georgia and Missouri. The hearing in Georgia isn't until Friday, but tell us what we can expect to happen.
Well, look, you may recall that Georgia actually had introduced this 6-week ban in clear violation of Roe v. Wade and nearly half a century of Supreme Court precedent. It was struck down in the district court in Atlanta. And even though the state of Georgia appealed the decision, it remains blocked. But I think this is giving new life, right? New energy because of Texas, because of what's happening with the SB 8 ban, which not only bans abortion at 6 weeks, also has this other provision around bounty hunting. And you're right, we are seeing this not only in Missouri, in Georgia, a bill was introduced in Florida, and we expect more of these copycat laws because they believe that this is their time to actually really undo the protections that we have under Roe v. Wade.
The most egregious part of this Texas law to me, and it's all a hot mess and a disaster, of course, but I want you to talk about this bounty hunting, because they've literally legalized a vigilante-like situation there that I don't think that people really believe that this is true. Explain what's actually happening in Texas.
So Texas, it is just like unbelievable, right? Texas has enacted a 6-week ban, right, which we know is literally 2 weeks after many people find out that they could be pregnant. So 2 weeks to actually go to a doctor. You have to do it on top of all of their other bans, which are, a mandated ultrasound within 24 hours, state mandated counseling, all of these things that they put in place to erect barriers. And normally, when you see such a blatantly unconstitutional ban, you can go to the state, go to the court and say, actually, this is violating my constitutional rights, and they will strike it down. What Texas did so cleverly and maniacally, quite frankly, is they created a private right of civil action so that any citizen in any state could sue anyone who was involved in providing abortion after 6 weeks, and create a bounty, essentially a provision where if you could prove that someone was having an abortion after 6 weeks, you could get $10,000 from that person. So clearly, it created this system of vigilante justice in our health centers. We have seen increased suspicious calls. We've seen people in parking lots, trying to write down license tags so that they can make a claim because they may just need $10,000. They may not even be anti-abortion. That's the craziness of this insane law.
It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm thinking about if they were to create any law about anybody doing anything else. Let's say, oh, if you see a black person going to the polls and you report them, you can get $10,000. Like, this is just so outrageous. I really think we need to be talking about that piece of it so much more. Now, I think that many people assume that when we talk about reproductive health and the reproductive rights movement, we're only talking about abortion access, clearly because that's where we're being attacked. But reproductive autonomy means something far broader, especially for black women. So talk to us about reproductive justice. And and reproductive health. But really, when black men, black women are talking about reproductive justice, what exactly does that mean? Because I think this conversation is broader than just abortion, and I want to make sure that we hone in on that.
Absolutely. And look, I think our reproductive justice partner is Black women who, over 20 years ago understood that just having a right to control our bodies was not enough, right? That it's always been about access. It's always been about, understanding the multiple barriers that we have into access healthcare, and those reproductive partners, those reproductive justice partners, those women who have stood at the forefront, they've always said that Roe is not enough, is the floor. And that what we really need to be thinking about is how we think more intersectionally about the experience that Black women are having, or women of color having intersectionally. So I know that when people come to a Planned Parenthood health center, they may well be coming for access to abortion or birth control, but when they leave, ICE may show up at their place of work, and they may need support. They may be stopped by a police officer. They may be struggling in this COVID moment to get out of Texas, and they may not have documentation status. So reproductive justice really is layering on this intersectional lens to help us understand how we all experience rights is completely different than just actually having a right constitutionally.
I'm glad that you mentioned kind of how inconveniencing these laws are for regular people. Say that somebody chooses now to go and get an abortion. They live in a hostile state like Texas or Kentucky, and they got to drive like 144 miles out of town just to get to a place that's safe, a safe clinic. Talk about the added risks that come with that choice of having to go so far in order to do what you need to do for your own well-being.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Aisha, abortion is still legal in all 50 states, even though Texas has essentially rendered it meaningless in Texas. We do want to be clear that people can still get access to abortion if they need it. But the additional barriers are what's real, right? We have seen an increased number of patients. 85% of our patients in Texas come in after 6 weeks, right? Which is normal. You don't normally find out until you are at least 4 weeks along. And so we have seen people get in their cars, have to take time off from work, get childcare, drive hundreds of miles out of state, 16, 18 hours to Colorado, to New Mexico, or get on planes and fly to other states because they can no longer be seen in Texas after the wait. And of course, we know who is bearing the brunt of this, right? Because people with resources have always had access to abortion, right? Even pre-1973, when Roe v. Wade became the law of the land. But it is people who are largely low income, people who are already facing systemic barriers in the healthcare system that are now being most impacted. And that is what we need to do. We need to be thinking about how we support communities through abortion funds, ensuring that they are getting the access and the care that they need when the state of Texas is being entirely so cruel to deny them their constitutional right.
Well, everything about your leadership I am so excited about, because you do bring this intersectional sensibility to this issue and who has access, the access gap, certainly for poor women, people of color, etc. You think about that so thoroughly and are moving the organization to make sure it's all encompassing. One of the other things you're also doing is set out to right the legacy that is not so pretty with Planned Parenthood. And you wrote a really compelling op-ed recently about that. Can you just share in our last few moments a little bit about that and the mark that you look to have with this organization?
Well, thank you for asking about that. The idea in that piece was really to actually call us into the future by addressing our past. It was an opportunity to say that, we know what our legacy needs to be. We are a year past Ruth Bader Ginsburg's death, and we are a 4-year-old organization that was founded by Margaret Sanger, and so it's really important for us to really interrogate our legacy and make sure that we are doing the right things to center the organization in a way that are driving towards equity, that are driving towards making us the most multi-generational, most inclusive, most expansive organization. We can't do that unless we decenter whiteness in the way we do that, to create space for the many leaders of color who've been driving the work of reproductive health, rights, and justice, and creating the resources for us to do this and sustain it, because it's going to be a long fight.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for your work, for your insights. We know this fight is far from over, so I'm sure that we'll be talking again soon. Alexis McGill Johnson with Planned Parenthood, Federation of America, appreciate you.